I have no idea what song is going to be playing in the background, but I sure hope it does not contradict the sultry tone of my voice this time. Hello there, friend. Welcome back to Max's Writer's Life Vlog, where I talk about my writing process, what I've been up to, and I offer advice and inspiration along the way. This time around, I'm going to be talking about my week, what I was up to. Spoilers, writing happened. And then we're going to talk about the fanfiction dilemma. It's time to talk about it one more time. Is fanfiction real writing? We'll talk about that relatively soon, but before we get there, let's talk about my week. So, I wrote a bunch. I wrote for like 3 days straight, non-stop. Sleeping is for people who are weak. That's a lie. I definitely stopped to sleep along the way. I wrote a lot. And writing that much reminded me once again of how rusty I was. But thankfully, as I said on Twitter, if you would like to see my daily updates on me writing and my silly opinion on the Fire Emblem games, you can follow me on Twitter at Mr. Kirin. Anyhow, the easiest way, the best way, the fastest way to unrustify yourself is just to write, just to do it. By the second day, I was feeling way better. The first day was super slow. I was doing that thing where I'm like, I feel like I'm learning to walk again, which happens whenever I just don't write for a long while. Release weeks just completely like halt my writing XP skill bar. I don't even know what metaphor I'm going for right now, but I'm definitely doing one. I don't know what it is, but there's definitely a metaphor there somewhere. But as always, it got better with time. It definitely got better. It got definitely easier as well. So remember, as always, no matter how long time has passed, as soon as you get back into writing and you get back into it and you get back into doing it, everything will be just fine. It's just like riding a bicycle. It's just like running. You just have to get back into it. I have been requested to no longer show numbers because some people think that it feels as though I'm showing off, which is not particularly what I'm doing. And other people have told me to keep doing it. So I'm going to, looking at both of these choices, I'm going to do the one that requires me to do the least amount of work. So I'm not going to tell you my numbers unless everyone yells at me to do it again. I wrote a lot, that's all you need to know. I wrote tons, 3 days in a row. I'm excited for this new story, which is going to be released relatively soon. I say trademark. What? Blizzard owns that trademark? Whoops. Anyhow, if I have to talk about one takeaway, like the best thing, my favorite thing about this writing session, it was, once again, dialogue. I love character dialogue. I love when they just bloom in front of the page, like they come up with a line that I could have never thought about, and I'm just like, yes, this line embodies this particular character. Oh, Miss Lorraine, overcoming diversity is its own reward. Thanks, Coach. Thanks, Coach. Coach, you're the worst. Overcoming adversity is its own reward. What? You nearly died trying to do that? Whoops! I hope you weren't expecting a reward. Thanks, Coach. That was literally, like, I wrote that line. You have no idea what it means. You have no point of reference, but just know I wrote that line and I just turned to like my side mirror because I like to see myself when I'm writing. That's not even true. That sounds super big-headed. There just happens to be a mirror right there, so I'm like, hey, that's a good line you did right there, Max. That was a good line. That was fun. That was fun. But yeah, anyhow, I've talked too much about myself. Enough about me. What do you think about me? Anyhow, today's question. Somebody sent me a question recently, and as always, I like to tackle a big question that usually wouldn't get enough time in the main writing Q&A. So today, we're going to be talking about the fanfiction dilemma. Is fanfiction real writing? Let's take it from the top. The question I got goes a little bit like this. Hey Max, I was wondering if you think writing fanfiction can be good practice for writing. I write fanfiction, but I feel embarrassed because most people don't see it as real writing. Note the quotation marks. Am I wasting my time on fanfiction, and should I write more original fiction instead? Alright, let's take this from the top. Point numero uno, okay? No matter what you write, no matter what you're doing, somebody out there is going to think that you're wasting your time. Seriously. I took a lot of writing courses, and you meet a lot of writers, and you meet people who turn to you and say, "What? You're writing genre fiction? I only write literary fiction." I can't say that word because it's filth. I'm sorry. But yeah, no, that's literally like what I dealt with a lot in my writing courses. You get people who are like, "Oh, you're writing fantasy? Ugh, I can't stand fantasy. It's a waste of time." in that tone as well. Just a bunch of posh kids. I'm kidding. But seriously now, everywhere you go, no matter what you do, no matter how hard you're working at it, no matter how much you put your heart into it, someone out there's gonna think you're wasting your time. And let me tell you something. Those people don't matter. Like, at all. It's one of those things that I said in my blog a long time ago, and I'm gonna revise it one more time. You have zero control over how people will react to your writing. So ultimately, their opinions don't really matter. Have fun with what you do, enjoy what you do, love what you do, and pretty much nothing else matters. People will hate your work for absolutely no objective reason. None. Seriously. I've gotten emails and bad complaints of people being like, I didn't read your book because the cover sucked. And I'm like, wow, I had no control over that. But seriously, though, like, don't even worry about it. There will be people out there in the world who tell you that your writing doesn't count, even if it's genre fiction, if it's literary fiction, whatever it is, somebody out there thinks you're wasting your time. So, those people's opinions don't matter. I really like my notes for these videos. By the way, my videos are not as scripted. People ask me if they're scripted, they're not. That would be too much work. I just have notes. And the first note for this question was, people are assholes in all caps. That was fun. I hope you're not watching this on the speakers at your home. I apologize. Miss and or Mr. person's name. I apologize. Anyhow, let's finally, with that being said, people are assholes, so that doesn't matter. Is fanfiction practice for writing? Is it good practice for real writing? And there's one of those really funny things in which the reality of how writing works kind of emerges into the foreground. Writing is not something you achieve, it's a verb, it's something you do. So it's one of those things where people are like, is fanfiction good practice? I'm like, you're not practicing writing, you are writing! You're doing the thing right now! Like nobody runs a practice marathon, you just run a marathon. It's just the act of doing the thing. You don't practice writing, you just write. You tell stories, you enter the narrative voice and portray what is happening to the characters, and speak for those who don't have a voice. Simple as that. You write, you narrate, you write dialogue. That is the act of writing. There's no way to practice that. There's no way to prepare for that. You just do. That sounds super zen. You just do. So, people are dumb. You are doing the right thing because there's no way you can do the wrong thing. You're just writing. It's fine. Is writing fanfiction a waste of your time? Let's tackle the big question, the big one, the final one, the one that everyone eventually comes back to. Like, yeah, Max, sure. Writing fanfiction is okay and it's writing, but am I just wasting my time? Shouldn't I just be writing my original works anyway? Here's the dealio. I believe that at the core of everything, you should really just have fun writing. Seriously. At the core of everything, you should just really have fun. If you want to write a fanfic, it's fine. People will tell you that, like, writing a fanfiction is a bad way to gather an audience. It's not. There are plenty of people, published ones as a matter of fact, who got there by writing fanfiction and then doing their original works. You know? And even then, there's no one path to publishing anyway, so at the core of all this, write what you enjoy. There's really no shame in any of this, because no matter what you do, someone's gonna shame you. Someone's gonna be like, well, you're writing romance? Pfft, romance is stupid. You're writing fantasy? Pfft, fantasy is stupid. People are assholes, so it doesn't really matter. Have fun. I've said this in the past, I'm gonna say it again. In those writing courses, I met hundreds of writers. I met lots of people. And all those people who came in with these hard rules and these hard opinions on what was good and what was bad and what sucked and what didn't, those didn't finish books. You know why? Because they were never writing what was fun for them. They only wrote what they thought was gonna make them popular and was gonna get them published, and because they weren't having fun, they lost momentum and they just gave up on writing. You know what they did? They found more effective ways to get what they wanted. Be popular, get people to like them, get people to respect them. People like that will find the easiest way to do what they want to do. Us, we're not doing this for that. We're doing this to tell stories and have fun. Simple as that. I mean, you heard me just a little while back. I was talking about my writing process and what I enjoy the most as always. Dialogue. I love it when the characters just bloom in front of you on the page as you're writing. As I've said in the past, the best thing, probably the best thing about being a writer, in my opinion, is that you experience the story first. You get that, like, first screening. The entire movie theater is empty and you get to see it first before everyone else. That's the most fun part. especially for those that know my books and the way that my stories work. I hate to sound like I'm the biggest fan person of my books, but I kind of am the biggest fan person of my books, because I'm the first one who got to enjoy them and watch them and see them change. It's really fun, and sometimes people enjoy that movie, and sometimes they don't. That's all fine. I already got what I wanted out of the movie, so it's all fine by me. Again, stick to having fun, seriously. It's the only way you're gonna finish things. At least, that's what I think. As always, for the time being, thank you for watching, thank you for spending a little bit of your day with me. If you have a question of your own you would like to send my way, do so in the comments down below, and I would also like to know how your week has been going. Did you write? Did you get writing done? Have you been doing editing? Because I think I'll be doing editing really soon. You just can't get out of the editing bottomless pit of revisioning. But anyhow, that will be in due time. For the time being, again, thank you for watching, thank you for spending a little bit of your day with me, and I'll see you on the next one. And welcome back to the Endslate, where I talk about Endslate-like things. Just really quickly, I forgot to put this in the main middle of the video, but there's a quote by Stephen King, and I forget what it is, but it deals less with the idea of wasting your time and more with the idea that eventually, no matter how hard you work, no matter what you do, someone's gonna come out and tell you that you're wasting your talent doing what you do. And I find that that's really related to this particular issue, because it's people just turning to you and saying, whoa, I expected something else. How can you do this instead of this? And I need you to remember that all of those things are people's expectations. It's not on you. If somebody shows up to your shop and demands a product that you're not selling, it's not on you, it's on them. Hey, I'm not selling literary fiction, I'm selling fantasy. Get out of my shop. Simple as that, okay? I've always liked considering my writing like that. It really helps, you know? I'm doing a storefront, and right now I'm selling cyberpunk and an upcoming new mystery item. If you don't like cyberpunk, if you don't like what I'm selling, get out of the shop. I'm not writing for you, I'm writing for me. I'm Kirin, 2016.